Hey, what's up? It's been a while. How have you been? Just kidding. I don't actually care. Just wanted to say sorry for the lack of posting for the past like 2 weeks, I think. I actually don't know how long it's been. That's how much I don't care. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sheesh. Gosh. Anyways, we didn't post for a little bit because, nothing wrong with taking a little break. Yeah, not gonna explain anything because fuck you. Today we have a very special guest. It is my friend June. June is a friend of mine. We've known each other for like 3 years probably. I don't know. I can't do math. You can find June on social media. Be sure to follow them. June's Twitter is at JuneStardust. That's JuneStardust at JuneStardust on Twitter. And June also has a co-op channel or like a co-hosted Twitch channel called Hereafter, which is twitch.tv/HEARAFTER. AFTER. Sorry, I was distracted. Please follow my friend June. He's awesome. Support the Twitch stream. It's him and his friend Dez. They're really cool, and June talks about it in the podcast for a little bit. Anyways, yeah. Zarif's not here in this episode. Sorry, I should have said that. Zarif's not here. Yeah, okay. Enjoy.
It's weird in a way to say this, but I feel like it's a part of who I am. It feels like this, like
we all have 100 gex inside of us.
Yeah, we all have. There's two 100 gex inside of us.
Yeah, there's two 50 gex inside of us.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to admit something here.
Okay.
I actually, when I get bored sometimes, I have an alt account on my Twitter that I use for, like, basically, it's like a fandom Twitter account, essentially. I'm not going to say for which fandom, and I'm not going to say for what exactly, but it's an alt account that I use that I essentially, I'm the same person that I am normally, but I get to, like, at least nerd out with other people about this particular fandom.
Yeah.
And it's actually, strangely enough, I get more enjoyment out of Twitter using it this way than I would my normal Twitter. Because, like, my normal Twitter, if you don't follow me on Twitter, those listening, it's very political. Because I kind of identify myself a bit of what is called a leftist. And so you get to see all my communist posts and whatnot. All my posts about, like, trying to get equality for, less fortunate people and, like, people who are disenfranchised and whatnot. Yada yada.
Yeah, those fuckers.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, taking away and, like, splitting my normal, like, serious Twitter to like this, like, Twitter where I can just kind of nerd out or whatever is, like, very enjoyable.
Yeah, that seems pretty legit because it's, like, very free. You're, like, no strings attached. You can just, like, kind of talk about anything without, like, your identity being attached to it.
Exactly. Well, like, my identity is, like, in part, like, I put in my alt account's Twitter bio, like,
your main or something?
Like, no, in my alt account, I say who I am. Like, I say that I identify kind of like gender fluid or whatever. Like, or I say non-binary, whatever. And, like, I put my age and whatnot, because I tend to try to, no offense to anyone who is under 18 that's on Twitter, but I like to be upfront with how old I am. I mean, I'm not gonna, of course, do anything, but, like, I just want to, like, make it clear, I am an adult, and
don't talk to me.
Yeah, basically, don't talk to me. Like, I feel more comfortable putting my age in my bio, because I feel like that just makes it clear that, like, if there are, other people who are either younger or older, you're like, okay, maybe I should or shouldn't follow this person because they're 26 or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that account, I just kind of just nerd out, and I get way more interactions on that account as well versus my main account. So I'll make a post about anything, my opinion on anything, on that account about the fandom or about what the subject matter of the fandom. And
now I want to know like what fandom you're in.
I can't tell you because it's kind of embarrassing. And no one on my, like, no one that I know follows this account. Like,
Okay.
that I know, like, either, you know, through Discord or IRL. No one knows what this account is about. And I like to keep it that way.
Okay.
There's no offense to everyone, you know, personally. Maybe I could tell you about it later, like, like off the pod, but
we can cut it out.
Yeah.
But you don't have to tell me.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And I just want to keep it that way, to be honest. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And I think that also just shows kind of a different side of social media altogether. You know, that it doesn't always have to be Hufflepuff and politics and whatnot. And there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with it. My main account is like basically me kind of expressing and kind
very
of
Hufflepuff.
Yes, Hufflepuff, yes, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, other turf things or whatever. I never liked Harry Potter. I'm just gonna say that.
Really?
Well, okay, I'll say this. So, I liked Harry Potter, but like artificially, if that makes sense. So basically, when I was a kid, my parents were very conservative with what my sisters and I like watched and like the different content that we digested. And so because it was a Christian household, we weren't allowed to watch Harry Potter. And so that means, you know, with kids, if you restrict something, you know what's going to happen.
Like do it, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to want to do it. And so I then took interest in Harry Potter because my mom was like, no, you can't watch Harry Potter. It's witchcraft, all that stuff, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to look at it and watch it. And then I watched it, and I was kind of bored. I was like,
really?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is all right. I thought it would be more into it than I thought because, like, my friends were really, really into
How
it
old
at the
were
time.
you?
I was 9 at the time, maybe 8 or 9. But at the same time, there was another series, not movies, but like a book series that I got into, which was a series of unfortunate events, and that literally formed my personality. That book series.
That's accurate.
Like I tend to, in growing up, I was kind of a quiet child. I was call myself, you know, even though I would sometimes sneak around and do stuff kind of like kids do, like take a cookie out of the cookie jar, you know, as a kid does. I usually tried to be a good kid. I didn't really like getting in trouble, and because I didn't want to get like a whooping or whatever.
Yeah.
And but beyond that, because I'm the oldest of 3. I feel like I had a need to like try and be like
a good role model.
Yeah, like a good role model for my sisters, and so I ended up kind of trying to fulfill that way. But it kind of didn't matter. It was like a mishmash because as a kid growing up, we also moved around a lot, and so I didn't really get to have many friends. So with me trying to be a good kid while also kind of being a loner, because I never really got to continually keep a group of friends for a long period of time up until my family moved one final time. I began to kind of be like the characters in the series of unfortunate events. I used like very moody and kind of angsty and like emo, whatever. And that reflected when I got into high school, especially. Oh my God, I grew up in a predominantly black area, and so, but I since I have like met so many different types of people and like over the course of like me growing up and moving, my friend group was reflected that. So I would hang out, with the few white kids and the Latinos that attended our school as well, because I guess that was something that I was just used to. And so with that group of people that I hung out with, they were also kind of emo. They would listen to, like Paramore at the time, or who else? It wasn't Panic at the Disco. It was another one.
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance. That's what it was. Yeah, and like not Coldplay, but Linkin Park. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all that at that time. I went from talking about my childhood to from talking about Harry Potter to talking about my childhood. But yeah, I just also don't like Harry Potter because going back to that, because J.K. Rowling being a TERF.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't know what a TERF is, it's a trans exclusionary radical feminist. It's a person who basically believes that, trans people, like that trans women aren't women and trans men aren't men, sort of thing. And so they try and invalidate that by whatever bullshit claims that they make up. They're just bigots, just a bigot by another name. So, and J.K. Rowling is one of those. And because of that, I just end up in turn just not liking her media and whatever she produces. Yeah. But I'm a millennial, so a lot of that. Well, I'm like barely a millennial. I'm like on the cusp of between millennial and being a Zoomer, but whatever. Yeah. Like a lot of my friends were in Harry Potter, and like the older people that I knew, kids that were older than me, were in Harry Potter, and that reflects to the millennials nowadays, of course, that are into Harry Potter. They give that J.K. Rowling's a billionaire, so it's like we can call her TERF and like all these names all we want and debate her. She's like got so much money that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she's set. Like I don't think she gives a fuck.
I think the biggest part of like, people like J.K. Rowling who are bigots, and rich is that they're rich. It's like it doesn't matter. You can try and like denounce them or like protest against them, even if everyone stopped like consuming Harry Potter media, like all the stuff. She has money, like for days. Her bankroll is like set. It's like there's nothing you can do, unless we get the guillotine. No, if as much as I like the romanticization of eat the rich, it's just something that that's kind of all it is. It's just a romanticization. So, but what have you been up to? I want to just take up all the spotlight. What have you been doing these past few days or so?
Let me think. I don't have a good memory.
No, I feel you.
I don't know. Like that. I don't know. Like my life is very stale, rinse and repeat at this point, especially with COVID.
Oh
like,
yeah.
All I do is go do work, and then I have class, and then I'll stream, and then I won't be able to sleep, and then I go to work. Like,
oh man. Oh yeah. I forgot about the sleep thing. I'm so sorry about that as well.
It's like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Someone told me that they got like a new bed and it helped them.
Like, what kind of mattress do you sleep on?
I don't know, just like the regular blue one.
Like, cause like the mattress I have like, I'm not gonna say the company, but I have a pretty good mattress. I pay like almost $1,000 for.
You got the purple one?
Yeah, it's one of them. This is one of them. I don't want to put their name out there. They
no sponsors.
They gotta sponsor you.
Yeah.
It's a purple, but it's when I initially slept on this mattress, like it said like your body's gonna have to get used to sleeping on this mattress. I was like, what does that mean? Getting used to sleeping on a mattress? But it was really weird for my body to adjust to sleeping on that bed. Yes, it was kind of alien almost in a way. Like
what does it feel like?
It's I almost can't describe it. It's like it's like a strange uncomfortableness, but when your body gets used to it, I literally get the best sleep I've ever got in my life on this mattress.
Do you like sink into it or something?
I think okay, on like my last mattress, I had a memory foam mattress, and it was very firm. Like it was too firm, and I didn't know. If you didn't know, when you're buying a mattress, the heavier you are, the firmer the mattress you're supposed to get. And I didn't realize there's different types of firmness for mattresses, depending on weight. And so because I'm like literally skin and bones, I'm like 5'11", like 135 pounds. Okay.
Oh no.
I literally a live skeleton. I needed to get a softer mattress, and so when I would sleep on this mattress, because it was too firm, my body would just like be in pain. Yeah, because it's too firm, and so I had to end up giving that mattress to Dez. Dez is one of my best friends, a roommate, buddy. I gave him the mattress. I mean, he likes it. His last mattress was a spring mattress, and spring mattresses are, I'm sorry to anyone sleeping on a spring mattress, but
I think I have one.
Like when you go from a spring mattress, especially because sometimes I go home to my parents' place and they have like spring mattresses with like pillow tops or whatever. I mean, they're nice, but like I get no sleep. I get my body just like I'll sleep, but it will not be a good night's sleep for me. Because like I go anywhere else, like stay at a friend's place or like go to my grandparents' place, wherever. I sleep on their beds. It's just I've been spoiled, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that a mattress does help for sure with getting a good night's rest. But I know a lot of people that have been having a hard time sleeping, which includes myself. Like, even though I have this nice mattress and I do get, most of the time I get a good night's sleep. But, Dez, if you don't know who Dez is, again, Dez and Jack, we are also buddies on our Twitch channel, our buddy Twitch channel called Hereafter. That's HEARAFTER. I'm just going to put that out there.
Shout out, yeah.
Just shout out on Twitch. And, where was I going with that? Oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought.
Mattress, Dez can't sleep.
Yeah, Dez, he has I think the same problem as you.
You just wanted to give a shout out to yourself.
I know. I just had to remember because I was talking to Dez about this podcast and how I was going to be on it, and so
I'll put everything at the beginning.
Yeah, I gotcha. But he has a hard time sleeping as well. Like kind of, I think the same thing as you. He's very much an insomniac, and like even with the mattress I gave him and everything, like he'll try and take sleep medicine, but it's like it's kind of a risk taking that sleep medicine because you can almost oversleep.
Oh yeah.
Or which he is afraid of because he of course doesn't want to be late for work. He works nights, and so he has to sleep during the day.
Oh.
And it's like especially when you work nights, like that just destroys your circadian rhythm.
Right.
Like we're meant to sleep at night. And if you don't, like you had this irregular circadian rhythm as he does, you end up kind of becoming an insomniac over time. Insomniac. But we tried. I think I don't even know if he's supposed to go to the doctor. He's supposed to get like a CAT scan on his brain to figure out what's going on. Because I feel like that would probably be helpful. But there's like more to just like being an insomniac than just what's going on, like physically, with your brain, like with stress, and like eating habits. There's so many factors that just go into place. They take place of precedent with sleeping that I think that it's just difficult to try and pin it on one thing, if anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So to everyone out there, all you insomniacs, I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to you. And I hope that one day you're able to get a good night's rest. And that includes you, Funky, of course.
I mean, it's not like I don't sleep like every night. Like I'm pretty sure I slept last night. I slept.
Mm-hmm.
Or like this night, whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout the week it's like hard. I swear it's like related to work.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, I think you've expressed your general disdain for your job and how it's not really appealing to you overall, and that of course you want to do something else. So maybe that's subconscious is kind of eating at you.
Maybe.
I'm not a psychologist. I didn't finish my degree in psychology. I rather explore law instead anyway. So
yeah, true.
As much as I do love studying the human mind and like neurology and psychology and all that and sociology, I think law is definitely better suited for me to study.
Why do you say that?
I think my thing is that I want to help people, and there's ways to help people in many ways. And when I went into college, I thought that I was going to be a sociology major. I was kind of set on majoring sociology and studying human behaviors and becoming potentially becoming a social worker, et cetera, et cetera. And as I kind of started taking my classes and whatnot, I started to pick up jobs at different places, and I would tell people like my major, they kind of laugh in my face. And there's nothing against that. Like that wasn't stopping me from pursuing my degree. I just decided, over time, I guess maybe it was getting to me. I don't know, with people being like, oh, there's so many of those people who have psychology and sociology degrees. I guess I could begin to think more critically, and I didn't want to kind of let that eat me up about like, people kind of shitting on those particular social science degrees. But I was like, I want to really be effective in how I help people. And I thought that, if I majored in pre-law, that would probably be more an effective way to help people. Because I could go into being a public defender, which even though I know that it can be very stressful, being a public defender, it's not something that I turn down, because I genuinely had this passion for wanting to help people. And I really imagine myself at some point, going through with my ideas and putting forth more effort to want to help those different disenfranchised groups like myself. Like, I grew up in a relatively, my mother was a single mother, and she was raising me and my sister at the time, and it was definitely difficult. We were very poor, going from house to house, different relatives and different friends and whatnot, to our grandparents' place. And that was like over the course of my childhood, up until my mom met my stepdad. But anyway, I've been there, and I've been through those difficult times, and to see, various people just like suffering, it's just something that just like makes my heart ache. I feel like I'm a very empathetic person. And it just makes me so sad that so much happens in our world today. And I of course, I'm not like a deity or whatever. I'm not I'm not the president. I'm not even like a local politician. Like, even though my power is small, I try to put forth as much as I can, even though I'm struggling right now due to an unfortunate circumstance that happened to me recently. I still want to try and help those that I can. So like, even when it comes to like, you might see a homeless person on the street and they'll ask for money. I'll give them the money. Like, like, oh, what if they use it for drugs? Or what if they're just trying to scam you? It's like, okay.
It's not my problem.
It's not really my problem. I'm not going to be hurt if I give them $1 or something, so if I have to change or whatever. I think
they use it to buy water.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. I think that I want to put the best intentions in the person rather than the worst. And I think that of course, we live in a very saturated world of like different inspirational media, if that makes sense. Like very Disney-esque. A lot of, especially as Americans, we grew up in this very commercialized environment, a lot of us, and they're like, oh, follow your dreams, and like all this like inspirational kind of BS, and that kind of gets to you to where the point where somebody says, you know, trying to be inspiring to you and trying to support you, it doesn't feel as genuine anymore because it's been, you know, hammered on you over the course of so many years. It's kind of hard to kind of break from that, and just when someone genuinely says that to you, to take it to heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
But since I realized it and had that epiphany, I don't care if people do find it foolish of me or naive for me to be hopeful. I am hopeful, and I am not afraid to say that. I am a very hopeful person, and I feel like if you don't have hope, then, I mean, what else is there, you know? I've been in dark places in my life, and I was able to come out of them through, I'm not gonna say like through any, you know, extraterrestrial
Mm-hmm.
sorry, tongue twisted means or whatnot, or spiritual means, but
you found God.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Oh my God, I'll get that.
I'm just kidding.
No, there's no problem. There's no problem with being religious and finding inspiration through religion, but
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of one day sat with myself and realized, like, why haven't I, you know, trigger warning, you know, offed myself or whatever, like that idea, like, why haven't I just gone and done it? You know, I go through all this suffering and all this pain, experience all these terrible things to me just because of me being who I am, or me just unfortunately making mistakes. Like, what's stopping me? And this took me a very long time to come to. It took me, you know, many therapy sessions and reading and talking to different people about different walks of life and how they have dealt with things for me to come to my own conclusion, or my own form to, I guess, express myself and understand myself in a new way. And I learned to love myself in that time, which I'm very proud of myself to be able to do, because I know it's difficult for people to love themselves. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very difficult thing. You say, you know, you talk to yourself, you love your significant other, you love your parents or your family and friends, etc. And it's kind of easy to do that, and it's easy to say that, right? But then you look at yourself and you are like, okay, do I love myself? You know, every day you wake up and you experience yourself. You don't every day, you know, experience your parent or guardian or your significant other. You don't live their lives.
Right.
And so what you see all the mistakes you make. You see all the faults in yourself. You see every bit of what one would call, you know, flaws within yourself. And that can eat you up. It can. And you deal with all the experiences that you dealt with. And so because you have the full experience of being you, when you sit and say, do I love myself? Like, how can I love someone who's done these different things and experienced these things? It's hard to admit to yourself to do that. So to be able to do that, I am eternally grateful to have this opportunity to have given myself to love myself. And I try my best to extend the love for myself and the love for the friends and family and even people that I don't even know, to extend that care and that empathy to other people, to try and help them, you know, eventually love themselves as well. And that, you know, of course life is hard, and I cannot speak for everyone's experience. Life is difficult. And there isn't the right words that you can just say to a person all the time. unfortunately. I wish there were, but you can't. And but I still try my best, and I still leave my hand extended as an opportunity for someone to talk with, and vice versa, like for me to talk with them, you know. Because I think that in this world and with how things are in this environment that we're experiencing right now, it is a lot, and I just want to try to be the positive voice that I want to see myself as. So yeah. Anyway, didn't mean to get too sappy there. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all good. I like hearing that stuff.
Yeah. Because I don't know. Again, this might sound like bullshit to people. Again, it's like the saturated media. We grew up on this bullshit, unfortunately. And so when someone says something sappy like this, I feel it almost can feel disingenuous. But I truly mean it when I say it. So, yeah. I'm gonna just stick to it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like
what's up.
Yeah. So what was I gonna mention? I was going back to something we had said earlier, and I can't remember. Dang it. But yeah, do you think about having kids one day?
I don't think I'll ever have kids.
And why is that? Or mind me asking?
It's like one, I'm not the biggest fan of kids. Like I know people are like, if you hate kids, you're a piece of shit. Like, you know that, like how can you hate kids? You're an asshole. I'm not gonna go out of my way to like punch a toddler, but like I just don't have the time and patience for children, you know, like. And I'll admit, like when I was a kid, I was annoying as fuck. Like I'm sure if I met my child self, I'd be annoyed at them too.
Yeah,
because like kids are arrogant, they're ignorant, they don't know anything, they don't know any better. That's why I don't like them.
Imagine,
they're not intelligent.
How embarrassing! You were a baby. Disgusting.
Yeah, I know, it's disgusting. But that's like one reason, and the other reason is like I always like talk about this. Like the moment you have a child, like you're no longer living for yourself. You know. Yeah. Like, I don't know if I want to go through with all that and just like dedicate my life to like providing for a child and raising them. And like, I feel like I'll like be a failure of a father. Cause like, I won't be able to like teach them Urdu. Cause like my Urdu kind of sucks, even though like I can understand it and I can speak it. Like I wouldn't be good enough to teach them that. And then be like, man, I failed my kid. They only speak English. Like what a loser. And then like, you have to like, dude, I'm such like a paranoid person. Like I'm very cautious. Like I might not come across this way just by knowing me, but like I'm very safe in all regards of my life. I'm very cautious. I don't take many risks. And that would like eat away at my brain knowing like, all right, my kid's going to someone's house. Like, well, who the fuck is this? Like, are they safe? Like, I don't know if they're like a weird predator. Like, what's their home life like? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit like that just keeps me up. Like, that's why like, I don't think I could ever have kids.
I actually agree with you on that part because like, even though I don't have kids, I have like my siblings and my parents and my grandparents and like my friends and whatnot. Like I can't help it because I worry about them. So like if I were to have kids, like this just would be adding on top of it. And that's not to say I don't want to have kids one day. I used to find kids annoying when I was in my early 20s, in my late teens, early 20s. I was really into them mostly because I had my youngest sister. She was a kid. I mean, she still is a kid, but like, she was like maybe, you know, in her early years or whatever. She was a bit annoying. I also had to babysit my baby cousins as well. They were around the same age as her, and they were kind of annoying as well. But as I got older and to the age I am now, I began to find kids kind of endearing in a way. Like I found them kind of a source of inspiration to me. And the thing is, it's like as that happened, there was a switch. I began to have like almost an abundance of patience for children versus my patience for adults. My patience for adults is literally non-existent. I've mentioned this before, of course, in private talks. But like I have the older an adult is, up until a point, the older an adult is, the less patience I have for them. Like because I just feel like you should just
they
know
should
better.
know better.
Like,
yeah, because you're old. Like,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
You've lived through life. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's like you've been through this bullshit. You've been around, 40, 50, 60 years. You're up here crying and complaining because
you're
you
acting like a child. When children don't even act like that. You know?
Exactly. It's like, of course, this is like cultivated from a society that's not emotionally intelligent, but that's an entirely different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like I have literally just no tolerance for bullshit from people, like absolutely none. Like and that's kind of how I unfortunately kind of end up in situations where I will end up kind of quitting a job or whatnot, because I have such little patience for adults that just deal with the bullshit. And I do have a tolerance. I won't just say that outright, like I'm not going to tip the hat off just because a person's being annoying or whatever. It's more or less of course, over the time, I am a black queer person, and so because of that, that has been a big source of discrimination and racism and homophobia and even transphobia in my life. And so I'm not gonna sit here, of course, sometimes I kind of just sit and deal with it because that's unfortunately just what you have to just do sometimes. But at some points, I just call, the kettle black. I just call it out right then and there, and I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna put you out on Front Street. Sorry. Like, I was working as a cashier at a place, and there was this white woman, and she was just being really, really rude to me, and like she was just like disregarding me in like every means of the word, and like I was just trying to check her out, and I was trying to be friendly or whatever, and like I just kind of was just fed up with it. Like I think definitely I was stressed at the time, but I was like, I called her a bitch.
You called her a bitch?
Yes, I did. I called her a racist bitch.
Yeah.
And it was not didn't look good for the company, of course. She did file a complaint. And the funny thing is that when I said that, she didn't hear me when I said that.
Oh.
Because it didn't get put in the complaint. Because she would have heard me. I didn't like whisper it. She was just walking away, and I said it.
Oh, okay.
Like it wasn't like other people could hear me. Because like the next person in line was like I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Like they were very apologetic and whatever. And like people like do see, like they see the actions of other people and just be like, yeah, that's just like so like disgusting of them to just act like that. And so like I just like want to call it out when it happens. Like but going back to the kid thing, like my patience versus kids versus adults is definitely an imbalance right now. But I think that kids are the future. Oh no.
I mean, yeah.
I just think that maybe one day I will adopt, because this line ends here. There's no more. I will. My genetics, that no one else will have these. Okay, unless they're coming from my sisters. No, I will have no offspring. So I would rather adopt anyway and help kids out in that way.
Yeah.
I think that definitely right now, as a 20-something, adopting kids is definitely out of the question.
Right.
But maybe when in my 30s or 40s, I'll get around to that.
Okay.
So, yeah, definitely.
That's like, I always thought like if I ever did get kids, I'd like adopt, but I don't know if I want kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about adopting kids, is that we don't actually, or not even adopting kids, but having children in general. Not every person needs to have kids. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
Not every person needs to have kids, and this includes, I'm speaking on the side of people who are well off. I'm not speaking to the people who maybe are in more difficult situations, but to people who are well off, or people who have the ability to do so. Sometimes maybe those people shouldn't have kids, because I think there are certain personalities of people that are just not built. Even if they think they are, they're not.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree 100%. Some people should not have kids. Yeah.
Like, I think this is the mindset. If you're ready to have children, you have to accept these things. You have to fully accept these things that I'm about to say. That your child may one day disagree with everything that you believe in. You have to accept that. Like, that's just something that's a potential reality of having kids. You have to accept what and who they become. If, like, whatever, if they become, a furry, if they are, into Harry Potter, unfortunately, if they are queer in any way, if they are whatever happens to them, you have to accept that is just what they chose, and that's just a potential outcome of having children, is that they'll become their own person and have their own life and make their own choices, and that you can't just try and preach your dogma to them and hope that they become another person like you. I think that comes with the idea of like unconditional love, which is of course kind of a seesaw on the thing to talk about unconditional love, but I digress.
Wait, what do you mean seesaw?
Some people think unconditional love isn't possible for humans, and some people think that it is, and so there's like a whole debate and debacle about that. Me and Jack I think we agree on unconditional love to a point of like our views. I mentioned him because I recently had a conversation with him about unconditional love, and where he asked me a question about it, saying, does he believe that humans or people are capable of it? And so, so like there's a whole thing about it, but yeah, about having unconditional love for your children or accepting them as they are, etc., etc. And so if you can't accept those things about having kids, don't have kids. Like,
exactly.
Just wrap it up, because all you're gonna do is end up causing yourself heartache, or just causing yourself to become, potentially be a bitter or a monster, and just becoming potentially, and I hope not, abusive. Yeah. Emotionally or otherwise. This happens to so many people that I know. That my parents personally, I love them to death. I love my stepdad. I love my mother. But they are, sometimes not as emotionally available as I want them to be, or they can be understanding and whatnot, and they're wise because they've got like 20 or so plus years on me. But it's that idea, I no shade to my own parents, but I feel like I'm more emotionally intelligent than them. I feel like I have a better center of understanding on my emotions and other people's emotions than my parents do. And that does translate sometimes to different conversations that we have. But overall, that can lead to how you raise a child, is how emotionally available you are. Like, you can't just be... honestly, I'm sorry, but you just can't be closed. Like, you can't close yourself off and be brooding as much as you would like if that's how you normally are. You just can't do it. Not with kids anyway. Like, maybe if they're like teenagers or adults, maybe. But like, as kids are going to be hyperactive. They're going to demand your attention. Like, you can't just be who you were maybe like in high school or even in college. Like, you have to develop almost a level of maturity and emotional understanding in order to have kids. But yeah. Anyways, there's that.
That's a big reason why I won't have kids too.
And again, there's nothing wrong with not having kids. Trust me. Like, and not having kids, like, right now. Actually, what's funny? I'm thinking of literally all my friends, like my old friends to my college friends, etc. Only 2 of them have kids. Only 2. No, 3. Sorry, 3 of them. I think my friend group is roughly ranging between 20 and 30 people that I keep in contact with. And so I would say only 2 or 3 of them have children. And these are ranging ages from, I would say, maybe the early 20s to like maybe the early 30s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's like kind of crazy to think about, because at this point in my mother's life, she had both. Well, she would have had me already, and like when I turned 27 later this year, that would be around the time that she would have had my little sister.
Damn.
And so I will be the same age as her at that point, and like none of my friends, or like some of them are married, but none of them have kids. Like, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, because like I think that if you're gonna have kids, you have to kind of definitely prepare yourself and like go through things and kind of experience more of life in order to be ready for that. Because like with COVID, okay, I'm trying to pivot here away from the kid talk, but with COVID and how things are, like it's just. I want to go out so bad. Like, I want to go out and hang out with my friends. I want to do stuff again together, play board games, and like play Smash in person again. Like, I want to go to cons again, because I miss going to cons. And even though the cons I went to were clean, so I don't know about everyone else with these gross cons they're going to, but
yeah, they was talking about like the sweaty body odor people.
Yeah, like all the cons I go to were clean. They smelled nice. The people were nice. So I'm sorry to whatever gross areas that you guys live.
Yeah, I think it's like mainly like the big Comic Cons, probably.
Probably so. I think maybe when you get to the upper, like, tens of thousands of people attending a con, then I could see why it would be so gross. But the cons that I attend, like maybe are a few thousand people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I miss attending cons, and I miss meeting up with different creators for things, and like buying art, like locally, art from different cons and stuff, and getting different snacks and from different vendors and whatnot, and seeing just everyone's costumes and cosplays. I miss that so much. Because last year I had planned to go, with Des. We had planned to go to TwitchCon, I think.
Oh.
But this was like in 2019, end of 2019, beginning of 2020. We planned on going to either RTX or TwitchCon, and then COVID happened, and so those plans disintegrated.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Maybe I doubt there's going to be any cons later this year, even with vaccinations happening. Just because you get a vaccine doesn't stop COVID from spreading.
Exactly.
And so, like, what people also, I'm just going to go on a slight tangent on vaccines real quick. What people don't understand about vaccines, that what vaccines are supposed to do, they're supposed to both help try to prevent the disease, but also minimize it if you get it. So, that's called efficacy rates, essentially to stop, hospitalization and death whenever someone gets sick with that said disease or whatever, or illness. And so even though the efficacy rates are pretty effective and pretty high, that doesn't mean that we should just start going out and just open everything back up. That's why, like, when the stuff that happened in Texas happened, the governor opening everything up before
mask mandate and all that shit,
before everyone started to like get the vaccines, like before I would say it's a substantial amount of people in the Texas populace had the vaccine. Like that was very reckless of him, very reckless.
I think most people were mad at that.
Oh yeah, for
sure. Most intelligent people.
My heart goes out to Zarif.
Yeah, I know, man.
He lives in that area. I'm sorry to you. Funny enough, the southern state that I live in, we've been surprisingly effective in kind of how we have been dealing with the pandemic. It could be better, definitely. It could be better everywhere. But I was surprised kind of how well we've dealt with it so far. But anyway, back to the con thing. I really wanted to go to music festivals and stuff last year. Like I had planned it all out. I was ready to go, and then COVID happened. But I'm gonna hope that in 2022 that maybe things will be better. I'm really, if I'm being realistic, I don't think things will be better until maybe 2024. Yeah. Honestly, like I won't say go back to normal, because I think normal, whatever we called normal before, which whatever that was, it's gone. It is gone. Also, I'm so glad that one thing. Okay, this is maybe a good or bad thing. You can take this how it is.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad that now that wearing a mask in public is now the norm. I am so happy about that. Because at the beginning of the pandemic, I had gotten sick. I didn't get sick with COVID. I had gotten sick, but it was at the beginning of the pandemic, and so there was like a lot of speculation and a lot of confusion as to what was going on exactly, and so no one was wearing a mask. Like, there were some people who had already started buying all the 3M masks from everywhere and whatnot. Oh, yeah. But I had some masks that my roommate had. She had like a whole bunch of them that she had saved up just because. Mm-hmm. And I took some and I started wearing them to work because I was sick. I was like, I might as well just wear them. Yeah. And oh my God, I was able to get away with not smiling at people and like people, why don't you smile? Why you look so down? Why you look so sad?
Do people like ask you that, like, actually?
Yes, it is. Oh my God. Working in retail or working in food service, well, mostly working in retail, because food service, I'm able to kind of do it a lot more easily because the interactions are a bit lower. But in retail, oh my God, you get these boomers who will come up to you. You'll check them out. You'll be like, hello. Like, I'll say it kind of like in a general way, like, hello, will this be all for you?
Yeah.
In that tone. They're like, oh, why aren't you smiling? Why aren't you being happy?
Oh my God. Really?
I'm like,
how are they like?
Because they have no self-awareness. Like,
God.
It is crazy, the lack of self-awareness that boomers have. It is kind of sad, the lack of awareness that a lot of people have. And I won't say this necessarily just for boomers, but they're definitely a big part of that whole disgusting kind of environment and whatnot that we've created to be like, oh, well, you gotta be happy, make sure you're smiling, make sure you are being sociable and being polite to the customers or whatever, and make sure you're saying hi, hello, and please step on me or whatever.
Dude, I hate that shit so much.
It is pretty awful. Unfortunately, it can be very definitely soul eating at times. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely a lot to deal with to try and be that particular person. But where was I before I said that?
Masks.
Yeah, the mask mandate. Yeah, the masks. Oh, thank God they're here. I'm glad. Like, even it doesn't even matter anymore. Even if COVID's eradicated, masks are the norm now. People can just wear masks out.
Exactly.
And because they're like, of course, that's very East Asian thing or Southeast Asian thing, to wear masks in public whenever, just in general, and it not be looked weird at. But now anyone can wear them anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You can just be like, I just don't want to share my face. So fuck you. And no one can say anything to you. No one can be like, oh, take your mask off. You can go into a bank wearing a mask and no one can say shit to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty legit. Because, like before, if you wear a mask, you're just thought of as a criminal, covering your identity. It's like, man, I just don't want to be seen, bro.
Yeah. Or like, you're seeing like some type of weirdo or whatever because you're wearing a mask in public. It's like, now it's just like, fuck you. I'm going to wear a mask because I don't want anyone to see my face. Yeah. You can put on your shades and put on a mask and even put on a hat, and now that can just be normal. Yeah. So very, very happy about that. I don't think that'll get abused because it doesn't matter. The people who are gonna abuse it anyway,
they're gonna do it regardless.
They're gonna do it regardless.
They have everything they need to.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. So there's no excuse for barring this, and like, yeah. Yeah, but going back to the cons thing and like hanging out with people, I'm really ready to get back into it. once things hopefully settle down. But yeah.
Yeah, me too. I keep saying like I can't wait to like meet up with all the friends I've made online, especially like in 2020, you know?
Yeah.
Cuz like I made a lot of online friends just over the years, but I've never been able to like hang out with them just cuz I've been like young and my parents like didn't let me do anything, and also just like lack of financial stuff. But now that I'm like not as young and I actually have money, like I can actually hang out with people. But like now we're in COVID, so it's like I just want that to be over.
It's like, oh man, creeper. Oh
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh right. Oh, I remember talking to you about, I know that you have a Minecraft server, and I've been thinking about this recently. So of course I do have a Twitch channel that I do share with Dez, and with Hereafter, we have thought a lot about like how we grow and how we interact, because of course recently we've been kind of skipping streams just due to literally life just taking its toll. But I realized that over time, a lot of us kind of do start to get to feel that loneliness and that kind of anxiety set up in ourselves. I know that we hang out within your Discord, of course, like we have, I think yesterday it was, or so a few days ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And but just like, of course, we will go out of our way to do anything. That means including playing League of Legends or Valorant.
Playing for like socialization,
just to hang out with someone. Like we will literally play these god awful games. I will say this right now. I like playing League of Legends with friends. Let me mind you, I will add that with friends, because I played League of Legends by myself before, of course, but like I literally only play those games to hang out with other people, and those games, in my opinion, they aren't good. I'm sorry if you like Valorant, if you like League of Legends. I'm sorry to tell you.
You have issues.
Yeah, sorry, you need a psychiatric evaluation.
There's something wrong with you.
Yes. And I'm going to my psych evaluation next week. No. I just like those games just like are just so zapping of like your energy. You sit there and listen to the comms or read the chat. It's like, how can these awful people just exist, and yet you will still sit there and continue to play, and you're just like,
fuck. It's abusive, man.
It
is
literally
like toxic.
It's literally an abusive relationship. Honestly, I don't care what anyone says. It really is, in a way, abusive. Like almost a new form of abuse in a way, because this isn't something that's like, this never happened before. We've never lived in a time where people were able to socialize over video games. Like, that's never existed ever.
That's true.
On this scale or magnitude. And so, of course, this is incredibly complex, but this has never happened before, and because of that, you you end up in this now special situation where we deal with this disgusting gamer environment, where you get people saying gamer words and whatnot, and this disgusting gamer culture that I absolutely abhor. But we use that to try and hang out with people, and that's why I was trying to see about doing something, like making an event on your server, to like get everybody kind of hang out, whatever, or like playing different multiplayer games that aren't competitive, like golf with friends or whatever, like something that we can all do. Because I think a lot of people appreciate just being able to, hang out with one another, and just do something that just isn't the old 9 to 5, or just kind of just sitting and staring at the wall or whatever.
Dude, that's so accurate.
Yeah, it is. And because I've done it, so I know for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to plan some stuff with our content with Hereafter, tying that back, that would be more interactive overall. Which, of course, because you have your server already set up, I I was like, should I even set up a server to do this Minecraft thing? Because I feel like because you had your server already set up and you kind of already had the base of people who are already kind of have the IP and whatnot to play on it. I was like, maybe that'll be easier. Or trying to plan for other like events or doing other things, but I just didn't know how to approach you on that. And so maybe we can talk about that later, but I definitely think it'll be something that I think both of our communities would be very interested in to do for sure.
Yeah, I'm down.
Oh yeah, so I'll get back to you on that, but I think it'll be a good idea.
Yeah, anyway. You do all the work, and I'll just provide the server.
all right, sure. It's like high school all over again. I'm just gonna do all the work.
I'm just kidding. No, yeah, just let me know.
It's like a group project. Oh yeah, you just
I'll just put my name on it.
Yeah, it's exactly that. But yeah, but I going to content creation. I know how much you love content creation. Woo! We all love content creation, don't we? Going now, it's so strange to me that it's always been a year that we've been affiliates on Twitch. Des and I, and it just seems so strange to me that people kind of continue to watch us, and I should say we want to try to do more with that. Like, of course, I feel like I'm very much a perfectionist in a way, and so it's very hard for me to kind of mount myself up to trying to complete a project or idea without me kind of getting on to myself being like, no, this isn't enough, this isn't good enough. Like I have a hard time letting myself just be a beginner, like letting myself be a rookie to not
experiencing mistakes and stuff.
And to like not build the momentum and actually do it. Like when I was creating the hereafter our visuals and whatnot, our graphics for our stream, like initially I think if you remember seeing them, it used to be kind of weird and like it was very basic stuff that I made in After Effects. But now, like after I learning and picking the classes and online and whatnot and actually going through and reading all the guides and stuff, it's like night and day. Like I sat for literally days on end trying to get this to like a standard where I was like, okay, this is presentable for myself. And because of that nature of mine, it makes it difficult for us to kind of produce different media and whatnot. But I really want to try and get into making video essays. There is a beautiful YouTube channel by this gentleman called Captain Christian. It's Captain Christian with a K, so it's Captain with a K and Christian with a K. This channel has, hands down, this is not even an exaggeration when I say this, hands down, the most visually appealing and probably the most well thought out video essays that I've ever seen on YouTube. Like, it is so well done. The editing is so crisp and the videos are so concise that it's so upsetting that unfortunately he doesn't make them very often. But like, he's made I think 42 videos on his channel since maybe about 2015 or so, and I think every single one of them is worth a watch. Even if you're not interested in the subject matter, I think that the way he is able to talk about the subject matter at hand and explain it to the viewer as to what makes it so great makes his video in turn just so fantastic. So yeah, I definitely suggest anyone and everyone to go check that out if you're really into video essays. Definitely worth the watch, for sure.
Does he have like a specific like theme he does his videos around, or just like random stuff?
I think it's mostly around pop culture, like but nerdy pop culture. So like comic books and video games and movies, mostly of that nature. Is mainly what it's focused around. And and because of that, I think if you're into those things, I think that's definitely worth watching for sure. But I'm not saying that we're going to take, if we were to start doing video essays, that's where we would kind of like, we just hijack his
steal his
style.
videos. Just download them and put your name on it. Yeah.
No.
Why not?
I can't. I'm not stealing from a brother. He's black, so
okay, never mind.
I'm not stealing from a brother.
Just steal from Scott the Woz then.
Oh my God! Speaking of Scott the Woz, okay, I'm going to admit this. I've never watched a Scott the Woz video. I know that he.
What?
Okay, look, there's a reason why. Because
it's because he's white. No, I'm just kidding. Continue.
It is.
What?
Okay. Let me explain.
Okay.
There is a saturation.
Okay, I agree.
There's a saturation.
But he's the GOAT,
okay,
dude.
Okay, let me explain.
Okay.
There's
continue.
a saturation with media on YouTube.
Just white guys in glasses.
White guys in glasses. There's nothing wrong with it. I do watch my fair share of white guys with glasses. You know, Vsauce, shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to him.
But I because of like Scott the Woz's videos, I've seen him on my timeline and people praising him and whatnot. I see like how long his videos are, and it's like I'll make time for it. You know, I don't think I'm subscribed to him, but I do get suggested his videos, and I'm like, oh, I probably should check it out. And I'm just kind of I'll check it out. I'll check it out. And that's kind of why I also like faceless media as well. Like if you're gonna make a video essay, I think that, or not even a video essay, but like an informative video, I think being
don't use your webcam.
Yeah, I think being faceless helps more than showing who you are, because if people don't know who and what you look like, that bias is kind of eliminated a lot of the time. I think.
I see.
I'm not saying that's necessary, but I think that it may take a good it's a good alibi to have, I guess.
But do you want people watching you that would otherwise not watch you had they known what you look like?
Maybe.
Like,
I think.
Do you want racist people watching you?
I mean, yeah, that's true. But I mean, people are gonna watch whatever they want to watch. So
fair enough.
Because they're hypocrites and fuck them.
Yeah, so, that's very true.
Anyways, I actually saw he posted a new video today. I forget what it is, or yesterday. It was an hour-long video about something, and I was like, maybe I'll check this out, and I added it to my watch later playlist, and because I don't want to discredit anybody, but yeah, when you have this environment where there's a lot of, you know, white guys with glasses making another informative video, you kind of, it's like
it gets it's like, a little you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's necessarily a big point as to like whether or not you should watch something, but I think that when you live a different life, like being a black anime nerd or whatever, you grow up in a different environment, you experience things a bit differently from a white nerd or whatever growing up, right? And so how you express yourself in that way through the different creations that you make, the different videos you make, will then shine through. And so having that perspective on like Dragon Ball Z is huge in the black community, especially among like black guys, and because of that, like having someone who would potentially make an informative video about talking about Dragon Ball Z versus someone who is white, like there would definitely probably be a tonal difference
for sure
overall. And so I think that level of perspective, and I do see it, and I think that it is present, that difference in perspective between different content creators of different backgrounds, it's definitely necessary. And I'm not trying to discredit Scott the Woz. He's probably a great content creator. Respect to him and his growth. But yeah, I just always try to just be mindful of it. And you're right on the whole like, would you want somebody watching you if they knew what you looked like, sort of thing. But yeah, that's kind of what we were going for, the angle in terms of our content creation. I wanted to try to make it to where it is interesting that I would watch it, essentially. Like everything that I do, I want to be able to be like, I would watch this.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. And no offense, no shade to literally myself. And I guess unfortunately, Des is gonna have to take us straight here. Yeah, would I watch us? Is the question, and usually the answer is no. And so I definitely try to take pride in what we make, and try to put more of an effort to make sure that it's something that I not only that I would watch, that just something that's enjoyable to watch. Of course, I want to have fun while doing it, but it does. Unfortunately, it does get to you. No matter, I feel like no matter and no level of wisdom, it's gonna at least maybe eat at you at least a little bit. If you see that you're streaming and you're seeing reflecting back in the Streamlabs view or whatever, you kind of just sit there stuck, just kind of just staring, mouth agape, just not really saying anything. You just sometimes get lost in the sauce. And, but I think nowadays, since we came back from our break that was late last year, early this year, I think that we definitely improved upon that content, and that whenever we do start being active on our YouTube channel, or whenever I start making my own personal content as well, that I want this shit to be polished. I want it to be something that that is enjoyable to watch, that is informative, and that is uniquely us. Because I really do love creating, I love streaming, and I don't see myself anytime soon stopping doing those things, even though I do want to help people, and I do want to go into different fields that support that or whatever, but I always have a deep seated hunger to create, as well. I also want to learn how to play some instruments this year. I know how to play the piano, but I don't practice that often, at least in the past few years, so I'm a little rusty. I can read music, but I also just really want to get back into music in general. I love music. I love listening to music. I love music creation, like all parts of and every facet of music. I love it all. I am an eclectic person when it comes to listening to any genre. I have no bias towards or I have no not a bias, but
like
I have
negative disdain.
Yeah, I don't dislike any genre, like from country, hip hop, R&B, pop, noise, like you name it, I'll listen to it.
Do you listen to like weird noise stuff?
The very, very, very edge of what I listen to, you would listen to this and you would be like, what is this? I could barely understand what's happening. It's not like incoherent, but it's like, I would say it's like near like noise metal. So like it would be like, it's still melodic in a way, but it's like the edge of that, of like what would be classified before I would say it's like the observable universe of music. Before you get to the edge of the universe, there's nothing.
Okay.
It's like, oh God, what's out here? That's kind of like what it goes to. I'm not out here listening to like static TV static or whatever. Man. I'm not that level. I know that you and I'm not sure about Zarif like being into 100 gigs. I know that you're like, you couldn't get into it, you don't really understand it, which is kind of funny, given that you're younger than me. And like, it's definitely very much a Zoomer thing to be into, which is called the genre that hyper pop. Yeah, that 100 gigs is and glitch pop or whatever. That whole thing. I know that it's just funny that you're just like, no, that's not for me. Well, I don't even think that's, as far as I remember, like the music that you're interested in, or at least that I've seen, I feel like definitely doesn't fit in what hyperpop is anyway, so or anywhere near it, I guess, right?
Well, I like pop music. I like EDM. Like I like most music. Yeah, is the thing. I just don't like 100 gex.
Yeah, and I get that. It's definitely not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. That's like completely understandable. I just love listening to 100 gigs and different hyperpop musicians, because I think that it's weird in a way to say this, but I feel like it's a part of who I am. It feels like This is like
we all have 100 gigs inside of us.
Yeah, we all have. There's two 100 gigs inside of us.
Yeah, there's two 50 gigs inside of us.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I couldn't have put it better myself, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely enjoy all types of music, and I really want to get back into it. I want to do a lot of things this year. I mean, getting older doesn't really bother me. It's more or less like if I'm not doing anything, like that's what bothers me. Like aging, aging used to bother me a lot. Like as I hit my mid-20s, like maybe when I was 23, I started to kind of actually get a little apprehensive about getting older, and it used to bother me a lot. I used to have a lot of existential dread and different crises about it, and kind of, now that I've kind of gotten older and gone through a lot of what I've gone through, that doesn't really bother me anymore. I think what now just gets to me is that I think what was actually getting me at the time wasn't necessarily that I was getting older. It was more that I felt like I was doing nothing with my life. You know, I was working these different dead-end jobs, and, you know, feel like I'm never going to be able to complete my degree, and it's just like the sense of near hopelessness within myself, and like trying to understand myself as a queer person and as a Black person, and dealing with different social issues, yada yada, in the world itself. Like it's a lot, right? And so just to think about all that can be very much overwhelming. But I now feel, I guess, more open and willing to just take the risks. You know, I don't know how to roller skate. I do not know how to swim. I do not know how to swim. Swim.
Yeah.
I can skim, but I can't swim.
What does that mean?
Skim, like reading over something.
I was thinking of like skimming, like slicing. It's like, I don't know.
I was thinking about skim milk.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about skim milk too.
No, not milk, but being able to take the risks and actually do things that are kind of exciting. Of course, with COVID, I have to take that in mind, but there's other things to do, like within COVID, that I can take risks on. Like I will eventually go back into dating. I don't date right now, obviously, but I would like to go back into the dating scene, and like I would like to start learning things that I didn't think I would want to learn. Like I want to learn how to use a bow and arrow. I want to get a cat. I haven't had a pet. Unfortunately, my family's dog passed away a little over a year ago. And it was very disheartening. I miss her very much, Roxy. I mean, sorry, not Roxy. That was our other dog, Foxy. Oh. We had another dog named that, but Foxy. Yeah, she was a great dog. But anyway, I really want to just take the risk, even though those don't sound like risk. Getting a cat, that's a risk. I mean, really?
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
there's a lot that goes into owning a pet.
You know, I don't think that's arrogant or prideful to think this way about oneself and being like, I want to live my life. But you have to be mindful as well. Like it goes hand in hand, you know. You can want to live your life, but don't be a douche about it. Don't be like, I'm going to go out to a club with 100 people, no mask on, no vaccinations or whatever. Don't be that person.
Exactly.
But I mean, essentially, you know, doing the things that I want to do with myself, whether it be self-discovery or otherwise. And so that's kind of the basis of my philosophy now, as I get older, is that I'm going to take the risks and try to have fun. So,
damn, that's legit.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not for everyone. Maybe you'll get there. I'm not sure, but I do find life to be very boring overall. I think that my life is boring. I think that there's no harm in saying that. I think that honestly, probably most lives, most people, are boring, and so I want to be able to, one day we're gonna die. Sorry, spoilers.
Wait, what?
Sorry, if you haven't watched it that far, you should catch up. It's like season 70, episode 13, where you die.
Damn.
No. But I don't want to just like sit around and just be, stuck and be afraid or whatever. And that's how I was when I was growing up. I used to be kind of bashful about things. I mean, I still am. I'm an introvert, so I'm a bit shy when it comes to certain things, so certain social situations as well. But I still want to be able to take the risks. I still want to be able to do things that I think would be fun. And I want to be able to do those things, with people who want to do them as well. Because, again, life is for the living and dead is for the dead. So I'm going to live my life. Like, come on. I just want to get out there and have fun.
Yeah.
It's like those dumb adults say to you. Well, I say adults. I keep that word too. It's like the older adults say. It's like, youth is wasted on the young. It's like, yeah, because I'm working at a fucking KFC.
Yeah, right. Like,
because I'm having to work to pay off my insane amounts of student loan debt and my medical debt. Because the country we live in is fucking dog shit. But,
yeah, exactly. Because the shit you idiots set up.
Yeah, but fuck me because I don't smile, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Eat my ass. Oh God. Jesus. Like, please eat my ass. Okay, no, you can cut that out as well. No.
Are you sure you're not horny?
No, I'm not horny. I'm not horny. I don't even think of my. You know what's funny?
What?
I don't even think of myself to be that. Like, I do make sexual like comments and different things about myself, and like sometimes I could be with my friends, can be a little provocative, but and appropriately so, like nothing like that would make people uncomfortable. Like I understand. I've known my friends for literally years. We literally banter like this, but like all I want is a hug. I'm being so dead at. All I want is to hug someone. Like I rarely hug anybody, or I'm rarely touched by another human. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know how bad I would kill for a hug from my little sisters right now. Like, I like to hug because I saw them a few weeks ago. They surprise showed up, and when I hugged them, I'm so grateful for every second that I'm able to be in contact with them. There's just something about when you hug someone and when you really hug someone, it just hits different. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you can just kind of give someone the side hug, but when you actually kind of like chest to chest hug somebody,
embrace someone,
like actually fully embrace somebody, that's true love right there. And that's kind of what I've been craving essentially.
Yeah.
Or even like intimate hugs or whatever, like cuddling or whatever. Like I wouldn't be down. I mean I wouldn't dismiss that either. It's just, again, with how things are in the world as it is, it's gets so deprived of it. You really do. But
yeah, we're down bad, as they say.
We're down horrendous. It's really bad out here for us millennials and zoomers. It's just pretty awful. But that's it's pretty much kind of the gist of how I'm taking life as I am now. So
that's good. You have like stuff in mind, you know?
Yeah, I'm not like as I know you've had past people on the podcast who are definitely, I think, I feel like they've done a lot more than I have, even though I know some of the people that have been on the past podcast as guests. But I know I'm not like as I'm not as decorated as them.
Don't worry about that.
No.
My friend Osama was on here. He's a loser.
Okay.
He hasn't done shit.
Oh my God. I don't want to be associated with this. I'm not.
You said it.
No, I don't. Look, I go on record. I did not say anything about Osama. Okay. I don't even know who that is personally. Like, I'm sorry to you, but
I'm sorry to you, Osama. But sorry you live your life.
I'm sorry you are doing probably better than me. I love you guys' podcast as well. It's been very much. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but like it's like I've actually learned so much about like who you are as a person, you and Zarif, kind of like your dynamic between the two of you, and like how you talk and whatnot, and like your different mannerisms and like your conversations. Like I've learned a lot about how you are as a person fundamentally. I'm like, oh, okay, I see.
Is that good or bad?
It's good for the most part. You know, no, I'm joking. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I think I have a newfound opinion of you now. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
I think you're kind of gross, honestly.
Yeah, you know. I'll add you to the list.
Okay, that's fine. I couldn't even I had this after the second episode of your podcast. I had to stop listening. Because no, I really enjoy you and Zarif's banter. I think that you guys' chemistry is very, very natural and very funny to listen to, especially given that a lot of the times when Zarif will mention something and then you don't get it, like you don't catch on to a reference or something, I will be literally in my car driving, listening to the podcast, being like, "Oh my God, Funky, are you serious?"
I'm sorry.
But here's the thing: is that you and Des have this thing in common where he doesn't pick up on a lot of. Because he was born in Africa. I'm not gonna say where. He was born in Africa, but he is an American. But he at the first few years of his life, he wasn't exposed to direct American culture, and so a lot of things that we kind of are familiar with growing up, maybe in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, he didn't know. And so, like, I'll make a reference to something, he'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what that is. But,
you keep that away from me.
You keep it away from me. You're lying. You
sicko.
You fucking sicko, dude. But, yeah. It's just very funny listening to you two banter about those different things. Or whenever Zuri started talking about sports, and you're just like,
I'm just like, all right.
You're like, all right, time to stop the podcast.
Yeah, I'll just like let him talk for an hour, and I'm like, yeah, no, that was cool.
He's like, oh yeah, you know that the Saints played last year? Did you know that Drew Brees is retiring, even though he's like a fucking asshole? And you just be like, who?
I heard the name Drew Brees.
Yeah,
but I just don't know the person.
He plays tennis.
No, he doesn't. Shut up.
What do you mean? How do you know? You don't watch sports.
I know enough.
Okay, what sport is he in?
Football. Right?
Yes, he's football. Yeah. I do love sports, though. Okay, here's the thing. With my
All right, end the podcast.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
continue.
Okay, I'll say this last thing, and then then I guess we can wrap up or whatever. But my friends. So with my friends, we have I would say we have a decent amount in common. But here's the thing: when you need to find common ground with your friends, if you have like a certain number of friends, I would say like maybe 6 or 7, like 5 or 6 or 7 friends. I know that sounds excessive. Like, what? I don't even have 2 friends. But when you have a certain number of friends, you need a common ground for everyone to kind of relate to, right?
Talk about stuff.
And talk about stuff. And that in my friend group is usually nerd culture, whatever that revolves around. Now, there are things that my friends found out about me. They were like, what? Are you serious? So one day, a few years ago, I was working on my car. And you're
a car guy.
Yeah. And so my friends were just like, kind of like, what? You're into cars? Like, yeah, I love cars. I've loved cars since I was a kid.
Dang.
I had car collections, like miniature car collections, like Hot Wheels and all that stuff growing up. And like I've always been into cars. I love cars. I think they're so cool. But my friends did not know that about me. Some of them found that out recently. They're like, what? Like, you know how to work on a car? You understand what a car does and everything? I was like, yeah. Like, huh? You a twink? Like, it's like, yes.
Go ahead and we exist.
Yes, we exist. Yes, we skinny black queer people. We can be skinny black and queer and be into cars and sports and other masculine, quote unquote masculine things. But yeah, like that. Or what was the other thing that I was into that that kind of caught my friends off guard? Oh yeah, sports in general. Like I love tennis. I love track and field. I played those sports when I was in high school. I like basketball. And like none of my friends are into any sports whatsoever. Like none of them.
None at all?
None at all. They don't care for sports. They don't care for watching sports. Mostly, even though most of my friends are straight or cis hetero. Like the few like none of them just are into it. They're just nerds. They're just like exactly what you expect. Also, a lot of my
dry.
Yeah, like a lot of my friends are also white guys. So like they're like the gamers you would see. They don't.
Yeah.
They're basically, again, like you said, cut and dry.
I see.
The point, but
they're like Scott the Woz.
yeah, basically, honestly. And so I don't. Whenever they find this stuff out about, like, oh yeah, you're interested in these things or whatever. Oh, like, yeah, I've always been. Like, I'm into fashion and different music, all this stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was funny whenever you and Zarif talk about different things, different interests, that you can see where you guys diverge.
Yeah.
And that I think that also just makes the podcast more interesting overall. So
I agree. If someone's like the exact same, then it's just the same person talking, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, if you wanna wrap it up here, I don't want to. I don't want to let it go on too long for you. I know you probably have other stuff to do today, but I thank you for having me.
No, it was really fun. Thanks for joining. Hope you had fun too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but thank you for having me on. Follow me on Twitter at JuneStardust. Can I plug here? I've already plugged this.
No, you're not allowed to.
I already plugged my Twitter.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plug everything. I'll put it all in the beginning too and at the end. But do it anyways.
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at JuneStardust. It's all one word. Or on Twitch at JuneStardust as well. And you can also follow our partner Twitch, which is Hereafter, HEARAFTER, like hearing. Hereafter. We stream usually during the weekdays or earlier in the week. So if you want to catch that, you can catch us around, and hopefully we'll be making content soon. Hopefully we'll be making content soon. That's the main key word here. Hopefully. Anyway, thank you guys for having me. And I hope to see y'all soon.
Peace.
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 Peace.